Why does organisational leadership fail? Let me suggest 4 reasons. Firstly, organisations are too consumed with hierarchy instead of mission. What do I mean by that? Hierarchy is the notion that organisations have people at the top who direct things and people at the bottom who do the things the people at the top direct. And hopefully you can see that there is a pretty big assumption hiding in there. That somehow the people who really know what needs to happen have made it all the way to the top of the organisation. The problem with hierarchy is obvious. Once you look at where the term actually comes from, it literally means rule by priests. If we think of the CEO as a high priest standing high above all contradiction or purely earthly considerations, that may explain a lot, but it's hardly a healthy model for a business or governmental organisation. Organisational mission is different. It's saying, we are here to solve this class of problem for our customers or clients. So let's organise ourselves around the best and most effective ways of meeting that need now, and make sure we evolve to still be relevant and effective in 10 years' time. I have long been a fan of mission as the organising principle. Second reason, people have a defective understanding of what a leader is. A lot of this goes back to hierarchy. If you think that becoming a leader is mostly about entitlement, that it's unlikely that you will ever be a leader worth following. And that's actually the point of leadership. Being someone who people will trust enough to follow, even into challenging or dangerous situations. And it goes further. People will be willing to trust a leader enough to follow them, but will rarely have to do that because a good leader is going to be pushing decision-making and leadership down to their people. And in the other direction, yes, a leader needs to be an advocate for their people to those above, but again, they rarely go to see their boss without taking some of their people with them. Which brings us by implication to my third reason. Leadership fails because organisations treat it as an individual issue. This person is our next leader, or that one, because they did well at this or at that. But leadership is not an individual issue, it's a systems problem. Organisations think they have leadership pipelines, when actually they need to turn that inside out. The whole organisation should be a pipeline for developing leaders. And that's why that definition of what a leader is so important. Every leader needs to be pushing leadership down the organisation and bringing leaders with them up the organisation. Final reason why leadership in organisations fails? Because no one has any meaningful notion of what leadership readiness is. If someone performs well in a role of sufficient importance, we all say, hey, there's our new leader right there. If we stopped and thought for a moment, all we have actually established is that this person is currently in a role where they've had some success. That has little or nothing to do with leadership readiness. Leadership readiness is really about understanding yourself well, having what I call activated self-awareness, and a map of the areas in which you may need to develop new behaviours, and of the levers that you have at your disposal to make that change. This is a data-driven approach which produces insight specific to each potential leader. And in an organisation that has really taken hold of the notion of becoming a leadership pipeline, can be readily scaled to the whole organisation. And people who are genuinely leadership ready fail far less often. I know you want me to say they never fail, but we're all human. Everyone can fail. But people who understand themselves and manage themselves like this catch themselves faster and get back up faster too.